Candyman. Candyman is the latest from Jordan Peele in a sense. He didn't direct this one, but he was a co-writer and he produced it. And you slap his name on it. That's what got me interested, and I think that's what got everyone else interested to go and see this. This is in fact directed by Nia DaCosta. This is only her second ever movie, and she's actually directing a Marvel movie that's coming up soon. Now, what is Candyman? Candyman follows the urban legend of, well, the Candyman, who is someone who is summoned. He's an urban legend. You say Candyman 5 times in the mirror and he will appear. A bit like Bloody Mary, but that's only 3. So, you've got to put a bit more effort into summon the Candyman. Now, the Candyman is a killer, but there's a bit more to him than that. It's kind of dependent on who summons him, as well as what he's going to do to them. And it's also based on who they are as a person. A lot of the time, the people and the victims of the Candyman, they're not so innocent. Now, there was originally a Candyman film in 1992. And the man that played Candyman in the 1992 film also appears in this film as Candyman, sort of reprising his role. So this is not a remake, but almost a continuation of that movie. On top of that, the 2021 Candyman references a story that's from the past, which is actually a story that was told in the original Candyman. This includes a tale told about a woman called Helen Lyle, who is apparently the main character of that 1992 film. I haven't seen the film myself, but it's cool that they kind of continued on from that and, are telling another story from it. Now, to cut to it, this film was great. I really, really enjoyed it. It's very, very well done. There's great tension, and it's definitely more of a thriller than a horror, so that it's kind of more enjoyable, and that's kind of what makes it a bit scarier than a horror movie. The cinematography is really, really good. The performances are really, really good. The writing is great. The soundtrack is very eerie and effective. And the special effects and makeup were really disgusting at times, but that was great. That's what makes it so cool. It's kind of cringy disgustingness. You're kind of like, oh my god, he's really doing that. But it was dope. And just overall, the structure of the film was really well done, really well balanced, really well put together. Obviously, I have a lot of praise for this movie, but I don't want to give things away for those who haven't seen it. What I can say is this movie is great, and it's just got so many good elements. Now, when it comes to the way the story is crafted and put together, it does involve links that I didn't think would be in there, such as a link to racial issues. Now, whilst this was very well put together and well crafted, I'm not sure if it helped the plot necessarily in terms of it being about an urban legend to do with the Candyman. But whether it really made the Candyman more scary or not, I'm not too sure. I kind of prefer it where it's not motivated by a particular issue. It's just a case of there's just some weird guy called the Candyman and he does killings when you say his name. Well, obviously they're trying to add more to it, make it a little bit deeper and denser than just a man who appears and kills. They're trying to link it to, like I said, the whole racial aspect and make it a case of, well, it's almost revenge killings. It's killing in order to get the attention of people so they can understand what's going on. I think it's open for interpretation. I think it's open to your own opinion about whether you think it was necessary or whether you think it worked and helped the story or not. But I have no complaints about it. I think, it was done in a way that was subtle, like I said, and it certainly didn't harm, and I do think it was clever the way they implemented that part of the story. Like I said, the tension was very good, but this film didn't rely on jump scares or anything like that. It was more the real good use of cinematography, such as close camera angles and camera angles where you'll see part of a mirror or you'll see a reflection that our main character isn't seeing. Like they might be stood in front of a mirror but they're not looking in it. And then in the mirror, you'll see someone in the background, such as the Candyman. And that was really well done, because you're just sort of watching and you're like, oh my god, are they going to look up or are they just not going to know he's there? And that was really effective. That's what kind of made this movie so scary at times. But like I said, with that plot point, that was subtle. And that's what this whole movie was about. It's about subtlety. It wasn't about giving you everything at once. It wasn't about big loud noises. It was about slow build up, just unraveling certain plot points and certain things at a certain pace before you get to, a big moment that happens. And that was very well paced and balanced, and by the time you get to the end of the movie, you feel like the truth behind the Candyman is something you've earned because you've stuck with it. And, it definitely wasn't a case of they barely tell you a fucking thing for majority of the movie and then they just spill it all on you at the end. There was little bits where you learn a bit at a time throughout the film, so when you get to the truth, it doesn't feel like it was rushed on you, and it doesn't feel like it was too little too late. This is only a 90-minute movie as well, but it did actually feel longer because just of how well it was balanced. It felt like it was 15, 20 minutes longer, which is a credit to the movie. You know, the fact that it can be a short movie, but they can still get in everything they need to do and balance it all well, and they don't have to rush it too much. You know, so fair play to them for that. Now, the lead actor, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, I hope I've said that right. He was really good, and I want to see him in more stuff. I haven't seen him in anything else, I don't think, but he was really good in this role. He really got into it, and as his character sort of developed, and as the story, you know, developed, and his character sort of changed and went through the motions and stuff, you really felt that change within him, and you know, he executed it perfectly. Honestly, I recommend this movie a lot. I was looking forward to this movie anyway, but you know, I didn't really know what to expect, because, you know, I knew it wasn't directly from Jordan Peele. He wasn't directing it, of course, and, you know, it'd been delayed and stuff, and I saw it was a 90-minute film. So all these things, I was thinking, how well is this actually going to do? Like, is it going to be as good as I hope it will be? And it was. It was better. It surprised me. You know, there's a few things maybe in here that I'm a little bit confused about, but that's good. You know, you don't want it to be too easy to understand, and this film doesn't really, you know, babysit you too much. Whilst it does have exposition, you know, like people telling stories of back in the day about Candyman and all this sort of thing, it wasn't, you know, too on the nose. It makes sense that these characters would tell these stories to people that don't know about this urban legend. And you know, you definitely learn things as it goes along, and there's still some questions to be asked afterwards, you know, to the point where you'd want to rewatch it, or, you know, go and look for answers online and find out the whole story, the whole truth. Yeah, there's really not much I can say to fault this movie. You know, it was just a really damn good movie, really well executed, and once again, Jordan Peele, even though he had a lesser involvement, showcased how good of a filmmaker he is at the moment. And you know, the stuff he's doing, the stuff he's making is great, and a big credit to Nia DaCosta as well, who directed it. You know, for a second movie, this is great, and I look forward to seeing more work from her. Candyman, for me, gets a 9 out of 10. In terms of where it ranks with the other movies, it's up there with Get Out, possibly better, at least on the same level, I'd say. Us was a tricky one for me. I really felt like the plot got way too complex, to the point where it wasn't actually making sense anymore. But it's something I'd probably need to rewatch and actually look into, because that's a film where I don't know if the plot makes sense and I just didn't understand it enough, or if the plot doesn't make sense because there's so many things going on, like little loopholes and plot holes and stuff. But for me, this is better than that, for now at least. But, you know, Jordan Peele, keep doing what you're doing, keep making good stuff. So yeah, Candyman, have you seen it? How do you rank it with his other movies that he's been involved in? Do let me know what you thought about it, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.